Paralives, the indie Sims game, is in full swing as it heads closer to early access now with previews of builds the devs themselves made and also a paramaker showcase that establishes their ability to tell stories. Now, it's been a long time since I've talked about Paralives between Sims and then inzoi news, but I do want to continue to follow this game. Honestly, I really love seeing what this team is up to, and I do want to do a follow-up video where I'm going to be talking about some key features I learned about from dev chats. But today we're just gonna have a cozy, very casual and short video, starting with some screenshots of some builds that the devs themselves made. Now, obviously, we have seen a building showcase in Paralives before and some of the building features, and I also like how showing this off shows us how invested the team themselves are in, and it's fun to kind of just see them play around and show off their own unique tastes. Now, I will say, looking at this, I don't know why, it does definitely have its own distinct style, but I saw this and it instantly gave me Sims 2 vibes. Now again, that is not meant as a criticism whatsoever. I do think it's unique. I don't think it looks just like Sims 2. There's something about the style and the way the streets are laid out, and maybe something about the coziness to it that does remind me of Sims 2 just a little bit. You can also see different details here, such as the landscaping capabilities. Personally, I'm a huge fan of the crawling ivy. Now again, I know that whenever I cover Paralives or pretty much any simulation game, graphics are a big discourse. Honestly, Paralives graphics have grown on me so much. That's not the main reason I'm following this game, but I definitely think this is a good showcase of the various landscaping options, and I'm pretty impressed with the catalog they have shown us so far, even before we're actually even in early access. And probably my favorite house is this blue one right here. It might be because I like blue, but I just like the street view in general. I think I like seeing the more colorful side to things as well as the more neutral tones, and overall you can just tell they had a lot of fun, in my opinion, making these. But let's move on to the main feature here, and that is one of their showcases recently. This is a love story about a couple that fell in love at first sight and grew old together. Their names are Rose and Antoine. They met at 16 years old on a Sunday morning, the day Rose's family moved into the town, in the little blue house next to Antoine's. But one thing I am going to critique is I don't feel like they actually look like teenagers. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this. Now, Rose and Antoine got married and moved into their own house. They had a beautiful little girl named Lily, and they enjoyed spending their Sunday mornings making breakfast, dancing, and playing board games together. So I do hope we can have board games. I think that would be great in Paralives, and they have showcased the food before, and I'm fairly impressed with the food options so far. And this is a picture of them 20 years later. 20 years later, they are still very much in love and enjoy spending time in their garden. Their daughter comes to visit every Saturday for breakfast with her own children. I do think they have gotten elders and aging parafolk down fairly well. I'm actually really impressed with some of the skin details and different hairstyles available so far. I think it's just the younger parafolk that need some work. Now, as far as some of these new hairstyles, here's this one right here. It is a bowl cut hairstyle with straight bangs. I don't know why, but this definitely gives me 90s vibes. You can let me know in the comments below. Probably lots of people who are watching this were not even alive in the 90s, so I guess I'm showing my age a little bit. But there's also this bob haircut style with straight bangs. They make something and then they make variations upon it. It's just a wise use of resources, especially when you're making this by hand. Next up, we have this receding hairline style for realism and showing different levels of aging and just different genetics. Here, of course, we have the fully balding hairstyle. Again, just nice to have these options. This is a little bit more youthful here. It is a slicked back short hairstyle, and again, I just like having different options. I do like that they're also giving us a nice balance of masculine and feminine styles, and I think so far from what I've seen, Paralives has been pretty even-handed between the two. They also added this bucket hat, which I think looks very nice, and we do have just a few versatile items. I've said this many times, but I feel like the clothing is focusing mostly on versatility with some punches of some whimsy here and there, like that really wacky showcase that some people didn't like, but I personally did. But in any case, you can definitely customize this. Again, remember there's going to be a color wheel, so you get a lot of use out of these items. And of course, with this, you have the matching shorts, and finally, you have the matching pajama pants. Now, I know this was not an exciting Paralives video, but sometimes it's nice to just relax and look at the little things they are doing. Again, you ask about gameplay, I will follow up on that, and I'm going to try to get back on it, focusing on Paralives as well, juggling all the other games, and of course, as my semester starts. As always, please take care, and I'll see you in the next one.